Today I'm speaking with Anthony Alvarenga, notoriously known as Mamba FX. He is the world's richest trader and social media sensation. Anthony, it's amazing to be chatting with you today.
100%. You as well.
Thank you. How did you get started in the trading game?
I started off as most people start off, dirt broke, looking for ways to make money, dabbled here, dabbled there, ins and outs of the illegal stuff and the legal stuff. And eventually I ended up landing on trading because I saw how you could make money in such a short period of time. But, at the time I thought I'm going to come in, I'm going to make a bunch of money. It's going to be easy. I'll be a millionaire. Life's going to be great, which yeah, it did end up like that, and that's wonderful and all, but it didn't happen overnight. It took a few years. So it was a lot of trial and error. It was a lot of, is this for me? Is this not for me? A lot of nights where I'm like, maybe I should stop. I don't know if this is worth it anymore. And just a lot of overcoming, tough times and eventually it all being worth it at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And I would love to elaborate more on that story of yours. What is your typical day and how do you make that productive?
Nowadays, a typical day looks like me waking up, having a cup of coffee, maybe getting a light workout in, coming upstairs, just praying, enjoying life for a little bit, and just kind of taking it all in, and then hopping onto the charts, seeing what they look like today, what the volume's looking like. Do I have trend lines? Do I have support resistances? A lot of people aren't going to know what I'm talking about. It's going to sound like another language, but it's just simple things I have to look at when I'm looking at the charts. And then from there, I'm going to plot and enter my trades. And the thing I love about trading in particular is that I'm in and out within an hour, hour and a half. The rest of my day is free. I can go do whatever I want. I can hang out with my girl, go buy another car, add to the collection, whatever I feel like doing that day, I'm going to do. But in terms of trading, it's an hour and a half, and that's as simple as it gets.
Wonderful. And as far as your productivity, do you feel like there's any one habit that sticks out the most for you that helps you to be productive?
Um, You know, for me, it's just consistency, just being consistent, just, analyzing the markets every single day the same way, making sure that they're moving the way I want them to move. It's just being consistent, waking up at the same time every day and doing the same thing over and over again. That's what gets me the best results. It keeps me comfortable. It keeps me on my toes and everything. And it's what has gotten me so far.
Yeah. For a lot of successful people, they usually have a process or some form of, mentality that helps them to bring their ideas to life. How do you bring your ideas to life?
For me, I'm a busy man. When I'm not making babies and having children, I'm buying new cars or figuring out what I can do for them and better their future, things like that. So I'm very busy with my finances. I'm spending money all the time and I love my life, but it doesn't leave me a lot of room for ideas. So typically I'm paying people to come up with ideas and have a team around me that helps me as well. And just giving them the money and the resources they need to help feed me back ideas is the best thing I can do. Time is money, and I happen to spend a lot of money to make sure that I have more time in the things that I want to do.
Yeah, leveraging your resources. I love that answer. What's some advice you would give your younger self?
Advice I would probably have to give my younger self. I would probably say I'll probably just say, condoms are not that expensive, and I'm not sure why I didn't buy more of them. I love my children though. I do love my children, but the numbers just racking up year over year, and so are the bills. So I'd probably say that, yeah.
Love it. You are a social media sensation, and you're also quite controversial to some folks, right? Depending upon who you ask. Tell us something that you believe that almost nobody agrees with you on, something that is part of you and your belief system, but tends to, cause some rifts in some conversations.
Yeah, spend money. Like spend money, like make money, but spend it. Like a lot of people have this weird mentality of you make money, save it, put it aside. This is my thing. When you die, the money's not going with you. It's not. You're not going to spend it where you're going. It's unspendable. Spend it while you're here. Enjoy life while you're here. make the most of every single day. You got $500,000 that you've made, spend half of it, reinvest in yourself, but also believe in yourself. Because if you truly believe in yourself, you know you're going to make the money back again. But spend it, have fun, enjoy it. People are so scared to spend money. I say, fuck it, spend all the money you have, spend all of it. Enjoy yourself, enjoy life. You don't even know if you're going to be here next week. So make this week the best fucking week of your life.
That's so amazing. Enjoy life. So, I guess the caveat to that then is when you feel overwhelmed or unfocused, or when you feel like things aren't really going your way, what do you do personally?
You got to trust God at the end of the day. Trust God and understand that overall, He's got a plan for you. And you just have to trust it and just stay on your path, stay on your journey. Try not to stray too far off the road. And just give trust to God and trust yourself. I think trusting in yourself is very important. Understand that life is great, but it's not always going to be great. It's not always going to be peaches and cream. It's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. It's going to get hard sometimes. And when life does get hard, you have got to just persevere, stay tough, keep your mentality the same, and just, go about life the way you would if it was a great day. Keep striving for excellence.
Yes, I love that. What is one strategy that's helped you accelerate your success and grow, your business and all of that? What's one strategy?
Um, Building a team, I think building out a team is important. I think that anybody can make $1 million on their own. But if you want to get to that 10 million, that 20 million mark, you're not going to do it on your own. You need a team. So my strategy over the last few years in particular has been getting a team and just developing everything else that I can't perfect myself, whether that's website designs or management of certain discords that I have or YouTube edits and all these things. I have a team for all that. I have a team of like 30 people now. And
Yeah.
because of that team, yes, it does cost me money. Yes, I'm paying a couple $100,000 a month just to, keep them working. It's also made me millions upon millions of dollars more. And the investment in a team has been the best decision that I have ever made, 100% hands down.
Beautiful. Now, you mentioned talking about making millions and millions of dollars. Let's get into that, right?
Yeah.
What has been your biggest financial win in the trading game?
So my biggest win just from like a single trade, like just trading in general, because I made more money off other things, but just trading in general,
Yes.
I've made a quarter mil in like 30 minutes. And that was my biggest win. So I made $250,000 in 30 minutes. The next day I woke up, I blew all of it. I ended up getting a McLaren and a Bentley, about
Yeah.
150K down on each. But I did blow it right away. But I was excited. I was happy. I was proud of myself. It was a true achievement that I've wanted for a long time. The next for me, 500,000, a million, which very, very doable. It's just I try to just be consistent and just relax and not over leverage and get too crazy. But there's times where I do get a little crazy. I do 250, I do 150, 100K in a day. But again, with that comes very big risk. Like you're not going to make 250K without risking at least $100,000 on that account. So, I love making big amounts of money, but there's a big risk that comes with it. And sometimes I'd rather just relax and I'm pretty cordial. I'm pretty happy with making 50 to 100K a day on average. I'd rather do that than go and risk all this money for, the chance at losing so much as well.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Now, I think you know my next question then, which is what's been your biggest financial loss in a single trade?
Biggest financial loss, a little over $100,000. I was going for a $400,000 win.
Hmm.
Felt good about it. It reversed on me, unfortunately. I could have got out with like a 60, 70K loss. And I said, you know what? It's going to hold. It's going to change. It's going to reverse. And that's a tip I want to give people. If you have to tell yourself it's going to reverse and you have to pray and you have to hope, it's probably not going to reverse. You're probably going to lose more. So, get out. Just get out when you have that gut feeling. For me, it was like, no, just please, please, please. And, even as a professional trader, someone who's making millions of dollars a month from trading, sometimes I do become human again, right? I lose that robotic sense of trading. I become human again. And I realize, like, shit, this is real money now. And sometimes I do mess up. We all do. So, a little over $100,000 loss. It's okay. I make it back very fast, but it did hurt. It suck.
Yeah, that's great advice though for others coming from yourself. You've built an empire, obviously, by mastering the markets, but trading is as much about resilience as it is about strategy. You've mentioned kind of both of those now. Can you share a moment where a loss tested you, not just financially, but mentally, and what that moment taught you about success beyond money?
Yeah, so when I lost that little over, it was like $113,000. So when I took that loss, you know, for me, it was like I have to, I got to reevaluate what I'm doing in a sense. But at the end of the day, as time went on, I realized I don't. The way I'm trading is perfectly fine. I trade normal. It's something about losing that amount that fast that triggers something in your mind where you're like, am I doing something wrong? I wasn't doing nothing wrong. I took a loss. It was just a simple loss. So understanding to just keep things simple and understanding that when you lose, it's not necessarily a loss, although you're losing money. All it is just a lesson. It's a lesson to learn. And I learned my lesson that day, and I try not to risk that much ever again. I try not to hold on to trades when I know they're probably going to lose. And it's a lesson. And that's what I always tell people too. Like, you haven't lost, you haven't failed. I'm gonna put it like this. You haven't failed until you quit. Nobody has failed until they quit. So if you want to be a trader and you're losing money all the time, you're not a failure because you're not done yet. You're still learning the ropes. You're still trying to become a successful trader. But the moment that you say, I'm done, I quit, it's over, I give up, you're now a failure. You failed at that endeavor. You better try something else. You better get a job. I think McDonald's is hiring right now. But yeah, you gotta understand to gotta understand that things take time, right? Things
Yeah.
take time.
Yeah.
And you're not a failure until you quit. But a lot of people have that issue. They quit too early. They didn't give themselves a chance to grow. And it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate that a lot of people don't get the true potential out of themselves that they deserve to have, you know?
Absolutely. Thank you for that great advice, diving into your personal story, but also bringing it full circle for how others can apply it to themselves. Now, these
Right.
next and final set of questions are really more so just about you and, how you live your life as well. What's one trend that excites you? Any trends?
Um, I like the way that the US is heading in terms of taxes, in terms of regulations, in terms of women's sports, in terms of all these things. I like what Trump is doing right now. Being rich, he does excite me because he does help me out. He helps my children out. He helps my taxes, my finances out. I like a lot of the things that he's doing. I think the trend that we see because of this year's election is good for me. I think it's great for me. I like seeing that now there won't be grown men in the women's restroom with my daughters. I like that. I love that. I like that there won't be grown men playing in women's sports anymore. I love that. I love that taxes are finally going to come down and I'm not going to pay so much in taxes. I love all these things. And I think that trend is amazing. I think it's great. And I think it's good for business. And I think it makes sense. I think that makes sense not only biblically, but, just Americanly.
Yeah, absolutely. What's one business idea you're willing to give away to somebody, to any listener? If if they come up to you and they're saying, "Hey, I want to start a business, what should I do?"
I would say go and make some money first, right? Go make some money. Don't hop right into owning a business right away because the problem with owning a business is it's very expensive. The cost and the startup cost of owning any business is very, very expensive. And people don't realize like, yeah, okay, I could put whatever, let's say I put 10K into this business. That's great and all. They don't see the costs that come after that. They don't see the overhead. They don't see there could be things that go wrong in that business that are going to cost you a lot more money than you think. And now because it's going to cost more than you anticipated, you're going to have to spend more money. And owning a business is very hard. I've owned a lot of businesses. I've had businesses that have failed, and I've lost $500,000 on them, thinking I was going to make millions. So owning a business is very hard. I think you should first acquire a skill set that allows you to make money personally, such as trading or even trading. But I don't think owning a business is a great move until you've already established a name for yourself. You're making money on your own because businesses are hard to run. They really, truly are. And I prefer to trade. I think that's clear as day.
Absolutely. Now, we've We touched on productivity a lot earlier on in this conversation. Are there any pieces of software that help you to be productive on a daily basis that you would like to call out?
No, me and my team,
Yeah.
we use notes. We use notes on iPhone to have our ideas, put our ideas together. We use a regular camera to record content. I trade on a regular computer. I use Trading View, which is just where you can look at charts. And it's as simple as that. And I make millions and millions of dollars keeping it simple. I don't think
Yeah.
you need all these extra fancy smancy shits that they got these days. You don't need all that. You can keep it simple and you can make millions of dollars. And I think I'm living proof of that. I could take a Google Android piece of shit phone out to the middle of nowhere, and as long as I got reception, I can make money trading. So you don't need all the fancy stuff. People think you need fancy stuff. People preach, well, let's get this and that. You don't need all that. You don't. You're just overcomplicating things and spending money that you don't need to spend.
Yeah. Just keep it simple. What's the best $100 you recently spent? And I know it's just a tiny $100, but what comes to mind?
Last time I spent 100. I had some baby back ribs the other day, and I couldn't find a napkin. So I ended up going in my wallet and I used 100 on my face. Probably the best 100 I spent, honestly, in the last couple of weeks.
That is probably the best answer I've ever heard for that question. All right. Do you have a favorite book that you recommend to others?
So a lot of people recommend books. There's a lot of people who say like books are the answer. I'm not against that. I'm not hating on that. I don't read. The only book that I truly read is the Bible. Outside of that, there's no other books that I read. There's no other books that I need. There's a lot of good books though, I think, on just like business and entrepreneurship. But for me, I've never got into book reading. My mind kind of just goes all over the place. I think I have ADHD. And for me, I'd rather just watch videos and practice my craft, really. But reading books, no, I don't find any motivation in that personally.
Sure thing. And it's come clear to me how much your spirituality and your faith is important in your life and in your business and every which way that you move. Are there any particular verses that come to mind that really drive you every day?
Not off the top of my head, but I will say this. In the Bible, God says that the love of money is the root of all evil, right? And people say, "Oh, well, you have all this money. How could you agree?" I do. I 100% agree to that. The love of money is the root of all evil because loving money more than God himself is evil, 100% evil. But people mix that verse up and they use it against me and they say, money is the root of all evil. God never said that money is the root of all evil. In fact, God wants you to make money. God wants you to donate money. God wants you to give back. God wants you to use your money on your family. But the love of money more than Christ himself is when things become evil. And I do agree to that 100%. So that's a verse that sticks with me a lot because people misconstrue it and they change it up and they try to warp it around and use it against rich people or people like me. And it's not right, but I like to, clarify what that means.
Yeah, really well said. All right, and for our last and fun final question, what's a movie or TV series you recently enjoyed?
The Chosen. So I don't watch a lot of TV at all, but The Chosen, it's about Jesus's life and everything that happened. And they're still working on it, so they're not done. I think they're on season 5 now. I've watched all 5, all 4 of them. The 5th one's coming out this year, but it's pretty much the only show that I've watched in the last few years. I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't feel like I have time to watch TV. It feels very unproductive. But when I saw that that show did come out, I did decide to watch it, and I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Love it. Thank you for that recommendation. All right, Anthony, we have reached the end of this recording. I want to thank you so much for your time and all of the golden nuggets that you shared with us today. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.